Welcome to Halcyon Park, here home of the Diamond Classic. An early start here between Rancocas Valley and Northern Burlington. The game is underway. It's 2 balls, no strikes to the leadoff man, Joey Sprague, for RV. RV coming into this game after beating Cedar Creek on a walk-off to win 8-7. Northern Burlington on back-to-back days. They beat Paul VI yesterday 10-3. And they are now coming into this game 17-1 as the number 2 seed here at Halcyon Park in Pittman. At a 3-ball, 1-strike count. And there's the strike called. 3-1, pardon. That'll be another strike call. That's 3-2. We've got all your information for the day. Starting lineups, pitcher info, all the rest of it. First pitch was at 9:55. I can't remember the first time I've ever had a baseball game start early, but Sprague hits it in the right center field. Coming in for a dive. Ball pops out of the glove. Nothing there from Damian Otto, and Sprague will get on here for the first hit of the game. So that will bring up Jalen Alvarez. With the runner on first and 1 away. Alvarez having quite the strong start for the Red Devils. The junior batting .339 this year, 3 home runs, 19 for 56 with 12 RBIs, a .679 slugging percentage. With Logan Downey on the hill. That ball's laced. Popped up into the shortstop gap. It's picked up. And that's out number 1 as Brent Wallowak makes the play. The third batter of the frame will be Henry Adams. Rancocas Valley in their road grays, Northern Burlington in their home blues. That one misses. So a single to right field and then a pop out to the shortstop. Strike called. Adams batting .429, 24 for 56. 4 extra base hits for him, 13 stolen bases. Had 2 hits in Friday's loss to Bishop Eustis. RV fell 12-3. But you also have to imagine they had to save a lot of their pitching for today versus the number 2 team in South Jersey. As that ball gets away, goes into center field. Vellet had an overthrow. Runner's going to get to third. That throw is late, and Rancocas Valley gets a runner 90 feet away as Joey Sprague able to advance on the stolen base and then on the throwing error by Liam Vellet. Not a play that he often makes, but the count is 1-1. And now you got a chance for Adams to drive him in with only 1 out in the inning. And after him will be Evan Valley. This ball is fouled back towards the parking lot, and it's 1-2. Pretty active campus here at Halcyon Park today. Got some Little League games going on behind us, and the crowd filing in for this 10 a.m. start. Both teams had to travel over 45 minutes to get here at Halcyon Park, but there are no Diamond Classic neutral sites in Burlington County as that one's fouled back. And it still remains 2-2. There's 2 neutral sites in Atlantic County, St. Augustine and Pop Lloyd Stadium in Atlantic City. And then there's 2 here in Gloucester County. Pittman at Halcyon Park as that ball's hitting the right center field. That's going to split the gap. Otto's going to pick this one up in front of him. Coming in to score easily will be Joey Sprague. It's an RBI single for Henry Adams, and the Red Devils take a 1-0 lead. And a really good piece of hitting there. 2-strike count, not trying to do too much, just flares one out to the opposite gap and able to split center and right field perfectly to set up their cleanup man in Evan Valley. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, what I was going to mention in the open is that going into this game, Logan Downey hadn't allowed an earned run in 23 innings. So because I hadn't mentioned it yet, you can't really call an announcer's jinx on it, but it is an earned run. Although on the throwing error, I wonder if that makes it an unearned run in that sense because the runner got over. Here comes the throw down. On the back pick, not in time. He's had 23 innings this year on the hill, and he's done quite well with over 53 strikeouts. And no question that on back-to-back days, they had to keep their arms ready versus Paul VI, a game that they won 10-3. PVI scored 3 runs in the first inning. Trent Ferrara was the starter of that game, but Northern Burlington came to their senses versus the number 30 seed and won the game by 7 runs. Swing and a miss by Valley. Valley and then Eddie Rominski, the first baseman for Rancocas Valley. RV1, Northern Burlington, nothing. Here in the first inning of the second round of the 2026 Diamond Classic. Downey delivers high. Another back pick by Vellet. That one hits off of the first baseman. Off of Mark Klusman. Couldn't get anything there. Three balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Vellet's got to throw down a second. It looks good. It's late. Runner came in sliding, and he was able to beat the tag. So a strikeout for Downey. And Valley is retired. This now brings up the first baseman, Eddie Rominski. Would have to imagine, even though they started 5 minutes early, part of it has to do with a looming rain in the forecast. With a lot of games that were postponed or rescheduled for today because of the threat of weather. But Rominski, the first baseman. The senior batting .255, 12 for 47. Swing and a miss. He's walked 12 times. 0 for 6 in his last 2 games. Had a hit versus Cedar Creek on May the 5th. That was the Diamond Classic game. RV led 7-0 in that game, gave all those runs back, and then came back for a walk-off single to win at 8-7. Misses low. First 3 for Northern Burlington in the bottom of the first will be Wallowak, Marchetti, and Vellet. The number 2 team in South Jersey, Northern Burlington, just behind Gloucester Catholic. Would like to see those two face off again, but this year in the Diamond with the reseeding of the tournament, it is possible that these two meet again at Alcyon Park on May the 19th. Inside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Rominski. So 1 run across for the Red Devils. And the pitch. Strike call, back pick by Vellet. What an aggressive send there by Vellet. There's not many catchers in South Jersey that are going to have this many back pick attempts. He's had a lot to first. He's had a lot to second. And for a guy that's a Division I commit in Liam Vellet, why not? He's really trying to get that runner out by any means necessary. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch. This ball skied out towards the third base line. It's foul. Two strikes, 2 outs, runner on, and a runner home for the Red Devils as Northern Burlington looks to keep the damage minimal, and he does. Logan Downey gets a strikeout, but an RBI single for Henry Adams gives Downey his first earned run of the season. We go to the bottom of the first here in Pittman at Alcyon Park. It's 1-0 Red Devils. Greyhounds will come to bat. Welcome back. Your starter for Rancocas Valley will be Mason Hill. He comes into this game with 16 innings pitched, 3 walks, only 5 strikeouts, a 3.5 ERA. We saw him pitch versus Eastern just last week, I believe. He threw a complete game effort in that one in a 3-1 win, so he is certainly a pitcher to watch today, and he's kind of this wild card for Rancocas Valley as he'll face the leadoff man in Brent Wallowak, with RV leading by a run after an RBI single in the first inning. That one's fouled back. Your starting lineup for Northern Burlington is as follows. Brent Wallowak is your shortstop, batting leadoff. Cole Marchetti is the third baseman, batting second. Liam Vellet behind the plate, batting third. Logan Downey, who recorded his 100th career strikeout in the top of the first inning, he bats fourth. Jordan Gilligo is the DH, batting fifth. It's Brenner Porgesum at the second baseman spot, batting sixth. Mark Klusman is the first baseman, batting seventh. Damian Otto in right field, batting ninth. And Jake Bartlett in center field, batting eighth. One ball, one strike. This ball's laced out to left center field. This is going to get down. It's going to be picked up by Stackhouse in left center field, stopping at first. It'll be a leadoff base hit for Brent Wallowak. And Northern Burlington's got a runner on here in the bottom of the first. All of the top 5 batters for Northern Burlington are headed to Division I colleges. Brent Wallowak is headed to Marist. Cole Marchetti headed to Rutgers. Liam Vellet, the catcher, headed to Fordham. Logan Downey headed to Villanova. And Jordan Gilligo headed to Wagner up in Staten Island. I mean, out of those 5 programs, Rutgers is making a turn. They're having a decent season in the Big Ten. And then the other 4 are mid-majors, but still, Division I baseball is Division I baseball. It's not like Division I basketball where your only shot of getting a professional opportunity is by being at a Power 5 school. As that ball's hit in the right field for a base hit. Marchetti gets that one down. Wallowak holds it second. He trails and returns to the bag. And Liam Vellet will bat here. Nobody out, 2 on. Back-to-back base hits here by the Greyhounds. Vellet, the senior, last year during Northern Burlington's state championship run, batted .376, and you're not going to believe he's batting .557 this year, 34 for 61, 38 RBIs, and a .967 slugging percentage. I mean, that's unreal. Would be surprised if he gets one out of the ballpark one of these days, as this ball's hit well out to left field. This one's down the line for Stackhouse. In foul grounds, he'll make the play. I thought I just came up with a prophecy for a second there, but it stays in the ballpark, and that's out number 1. Because I've done that before. We did that with Jonah De Leon of Pensacola, and I said, oh, the wind's blowing out. Chance the ball gets out of the yard. And before that sentence even finishes, he hit a ball 430 feet to right center field. So here's Logan Downey. The commit to Villanova. He is committed as a right-handed pitcher. He's batting .370 at the plate, 20 for 54. 6 doubles and 6 home runs. Went 1 for 3 versus Paul VI. He has hit safely in his last 4 games. Strike called. Downey on the mound, as we said, 23 innings, 0 ERA, 12 walks, 53 Ks. He'll be headed up to just outside of Philadelphia next year as a strike throw down to third. He got him! Throw down to third, gets the lead runner on the throw by Aiden Gaskell. And there's 2 down. Marchetti did move to second on the double steal. Gene Darling wanted at least a brief clarification over at third base about the call. So 2 outs. Batter is Downey. If the inning continues after him, it'll be Jordan Gilligo. But this could be a big shutdown inning if they can keep Northern Burlington off the board. That one's high. 1 ball, no strikes. We'll have updates from around the diamond at the 4 neutral sites. Got to imagine there's a decent amount of reporters there. We'll see where our good friend Kevin Minnick is. Hasn't posted anything yet, so I don't see him around here. So he could be at Clearview, St. Augustine, or Pop Lloyd Stadium in Atlantic City. I was confused when they first announced the neutral sites for the diamond for the quarterfinals, because when they said Atlantic City, I was thinking maybe they brought back the Sandcastle. But no, it's the blue turf at Pop Lloyd Stadium, which is where Atlantic Cape, the Buccaneers, play in NJSIAA Region 19 play. And I believe Atlantic City High School also plays some of their games there. I don't think they play all of them there, but they play at least a handful with head coach Brent Bean. He's been there for a long time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, runner on second. This ball's hit off the glove of the third baseman, Harrison. He's going to reel it in, and that could have been a lot worse, but it's going to be an infield base hit, and definitely not ordinary effort by Harrison. Downey gets aboard, and the batter will be Gilligo. But if that ball had just cleared the head of Harrison over at third, that definitely would have brought in the runner from second. So, take your losses where you can get them. Harrison, even with the ball popping out of his glove, will have a substitute runner at first base. It'll be number 23, Ian Vasil. But from Alcyon Park, 65 degrees today, mostly cloudy. Wind gusts of 13 miles an hour, blowing south to southwest, which I can't see the flag from here, but would have to imagine that would mean if the ballpark is facing north, then the wind is blowing out. And the rain today doesn't look like it's expected until 4. It could entirely miss us for all it's worth. Might actually end up being later tonight as a strike is called to Gilligo. Gilligo batting .320, 16 for 50, 1 home run, 9 walks, 5 stolen bases. He has hit safely also in his last 4 games, 1 hit each outside. Dan Haverstick from the dugout saying, "Great pitch." That's the passive-aggressive way of saying he doesn't agree with the strike and ball call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hill looking to get out of the jam. Line drive. Harrison can't get there. It'll go into left field. Stackhouse picks it up. Runner scores from third. Marchetti comes in, and Northern Burlington does tie up the game after all. It's 1-1. RBI single to left field. Another tough play from Malcolm Harrison, but Gilligo drives in the run, and the 5-man core of Division I products, they at least get a run out of it on their first rotation. 1-1. So now here is Brenner Porgeson. Especially after that 1 runner was thrown out. It's never easy to come back from that, but now we've got 2 runners on and 2 outs, as that one just missed from Porgeson, or to Porgeson, pardon. One of the younger gentlemen on the team in his first varsity season, batting .333 as a sophomore, 15 for 45. Hill looks back, the 1-0. This ball's fouled back. Every time I read off Northern Burlington stats, I feel like I'm the public address announcer in Space Jam, where I'm talking about Michael Jordan and all of his friends that are averaging 50 points a game, and 1962 Wilt Chamberlain and all that. I mean, the first 6 batters that I just talked about, we talked about Liam Vellet batting .557. No wonder why this team's 17-1. Their 1 loss this year came versus Haddonfield, which was last Monday. They lost 9-5. But they've won their last 2, 5-4 over Hopewell Valley and 10-3 over PVI. They will have to play Rancocas Valley in a non-conference game on the 14th. I mean, not that they have to play. That game could definitely be canceled, but would be interesting to see these 2 teams play twice in a week with no conference alignment. 3 balls, 1 strike to Porgeson. Four hits in the inning for Northern Burlington as a strike is called on the outside corner. A single by all singles, Walalak, Marchetti, Downey, and Gilligo. But after him, it'll be Mark Klusman, the first baseman. For the Greyhounds, Hill steps off. For Rancocas Valley, it'll be Varen Delval, Malcolm Harrison, and Aiden Gaskell, 6, 7, and 8. Runners go. Strike, 3 called on the outside corner. Porgeson disagrees with it, but Mason Hill gets the strikeout, and the inning is over. Northern Burlington gets 1 run back on an RBI single by Jordan Gilligo, but Hill, the senior, gets out of it. We go to the top of the second. We're tied up in Alcyon Park, 1-1. Welcome back. Let's take a look at what Logan Downey's been able to do this season for Northern Burlington. Going into this game, he had 23 innings, 21 walks, but 53 strikeouts. He's got 99 in his career going into this game. He picked up his 100th in the top of the first inning, a flat 0 ERA and a 0.91 whip. Your starting lineup for Northern Burlington, I apologize we didn't get around to it in the first. It's Joey Sprague in center field, Jalen Alvarez in right, Henry Adams as your second baseman batting second, Evan Valley, the shortstop, batting fourth, Eddie Rominski is the first baseman batting fifth, Varen Delval is the DH in the sixth slot, Malcolm Harrison at third base, Aiden Gaskell the catcher, Kareem Stackhouse is the left fielder, and Delval hitting for the pitcher in Rancocas Valley. Strike called. It's 0-2. If you're just joining us, tied up at 1 at the end of the first inning. Downey to Delval, misses high. Struck out 2 in the first inning. The second game of the day will be Egg Harbor Township versus Cherry Hill West at 1 p.m., approximately 1 p.m. Probably would imagine that if this game takes about 2 hours, would imagine maybe a 30-minute break, as that one is a strike 3 called. 3 straight strikeouts for Logan Downey, and there's one away. Fouled back. Takes a careen off the off the chain link fence up top. Made its way back onto the field. Was a fun game last night down at Maxwell Field in Wildwood. Wildwood topped Pleasantville 17-11. Big thanks to Rich Hans for having us out. We'll be back in Wildwood on May the 17th for the semifinals and finals of their tournament, which includes, it's a 6-team tournament. They'll have round robins on Saturday and then the semis and finals on Sunday. The 6 teams are Wildwood, Wildwood Catholic, Middle Township, Lower Cape May Tech, and Camden Tech. This ball's grounded to third. Coming in on it, interesting play there. Marchetti, he was way up on the grass, maybe expecting a bunt from the 7-hitter Harrison, and there's 2 away, 5-3 ground out. So the batter will now be Gaskell. Outside. Rancocas Valley this season, 11-8, 4-3 in the Olympic American. Right now, third in South Jersey Group 4 power points. They are 2-3 in their last 5 games. Had a heartbreaking loss to Cherry Hill East, 13-10. But Cherry Hill East seems like they're getting their groove back. They're 7-10 after starting 2-9. They have won 5 of their last 6 games. As a ground ball by Gaskell out to second base. It's bobbled by Porgeson. He'll throw it to first, and it's in time. Side is retired. 1-2-3 frame for Logan Downey. Northern Burlington will look to pick up where they left off in the bottom of the second inning. We're tied up at 1. Hold on. 3-2-1. Bottom of the second inning, tied up at 1. Rancocas Valley and Northern Burlington. Second round of the Diamond Classic. Northern Burlington topped PVI 10-3 to win their first round game. And Rancocas Valley walked off Cedar Creek by a score of 8-7 to win their first round game. As we said, 4 neutral sites. Pop Lloyd Stadium in Atlantic City. Clearview Regional High School in Mullica Hill, about 10-15 minutes from here. And then St. Augustine Prep in Richland. So 2 in Atlantic County, 2 in Gloucester County. From the first round, we'll go over the results with you. Gloucester Catholic beat Sterling 5-1. Vineland crushed Shawnee 17-4. As that ball's into center field, Mark Klusman with a leadoff base hit. And it'll bring up Damian Otto, the right fielder, in the 8th slot. But Haddonfield beat Williamstown 7-1. Kingsway shut out St. Joe's Hamilton 11-0. Bunt put in play. Harrison right on it. He'll have the throw on the line. He'll make the play. And that's out number 1. So a successful sacrifice, 5-3, is the first out of the bottom of the second. Batter will be the center fielder, Jake Bartlett. Listen, that's a good piece of hitting by Otto, but that is just as good of a piece of defense by Malcolm Harrison. He was in on the line, made the play. He didn't rush the throw. He saw how much time he had. He, bought his time. He weighed his options, and he absolutely made that work. So it's a net benefit for everybody. You get a sacrifice bunt. Rancocas Valley gets the out, but Northern Burlington moves the runner over. It's one of those net neutral plays. But the batter is Bartlett. Stepping off. Home plate umpire went over to the Northern Burlington dugout. Now Gene Darling is asking for something. I wonder if somebody was chirping, because the umpires have been a lot stricter on that this year. unless it's where Wallalack is standing in the on-deck circle, because he's standing on the edge of the grass and the dirt, and Darling trying to plead his case, but I'm, again, not sure what's being argued here. Because the home plate umpire took off his helmet, and he went back to the dugout, and Gene Darling, just by his body language, doesn't seem to be happy at all with whatever was called. I got to think it has something to do with the bench, though. One of those chirping warnings. Because like we said, the umpires have been a lot stricter on it this year, and that's mostly from an initiative from the NJSIAA. Misses high. 1-0. So Bartlett, the number 9 hitter. Again, going over those games as we mentioned before, Bishop Eustis over Cherokee 7-3, Mainland over Morristown 2-1, Cherry Hill West over Pennsville 8-4, Egg Harbor Township over Pennsauken in the upset 7-2, St. Augustine 13-3 over Woodstown, 12-9 Delsey over Lenape, Shalleck 8-7 over Doan Academy. Ground ball to short, picked up by Valley at the chest. Pump fake, throw to first is in time. It moves the runner to third base. And that's out number 2 in the bottom of the second. We'll go back to the top of the order now for Brent Wallalack. Clearview beat GCIT 4-3. Eastern beat Highland 20-10. Haddon Heights topped Del Rand 6-1. Rancocas Valley beat Cedar Creek 8-7. And then Northern Burlington beat PVI 10-3. That was on Friday. Now, the reason why that they played on Friday, most Diamond Classic first-round games were completed on Tuesday or Wednesday, with Thursday as a rain date. But because Absegami was originally in the tournament, as that ball missed high and inside, Absegami was originally in the tournament, but they withdrew at the last second, and PVI was, I guess, the first team to accept the invitation, and they slotted into the 30 seed. Klusman on third, and that one's up and out, 2-0. Back-to-back ground outs off the bat of the 8 and 9 hitters for Northern Burlington. Wallalack had a single in the first inning but was cut down at third base, the 2-0. Inside, saved by Gaskell. And the winner today will face the winner of Eastern and Haddon Heights in the quarterfinals. That'll be on Saturday, May the 16th. The quarterfinals and the semifinals will be on the same day, which, if you ask me, is something that I have always vehemently disagreed with, but there's a reason why I don't have a seat at the table, because people know more than me and people have better ideas than I do. That one's a strike called, 3-1. I mean, David and I discussed it on our podcast, South Jersey Starting 9. We said, listen, the point of the Diamond Classic is that being durable and having good pitching wins championships. It's a beautiful pitch on the inside corner, swung on and missed at 3-2. But you can't really reinforce the notion that pitching wins championships when you're forcing it on their hands by making them play 2 games in one day. There is enough room in the schedule where you can do quarterfinals and semis on different days. I just disagree with it. Fly ball, left center field. This one's got a chance to get down, and it does. It bobbles off of Sprague's glove. Now on his horse to second base. Throw will be late. It's going to be an RBI single for Brent Wallalack, and it'll be an error charge to the center fielder. So a single E8 gives Northern Burlington a 2-1 lead. Second base hit for Brent Wallalack. This time it counts for an RBI. I think Sprague just overran it that time. I think that's what the issue was. And now RV's pitching coach will come out. Now this is a different pitching coach than who they had last year. They've had Jeff Singer on their staff for a little while, a former Phillies right-hander. He's what people call a phantom big leaguer. He was called up in 2020, but never appeared in a major league game. He was a longtime member of the Phillies organization, though, as a right-handed pitcher. However, he is away from the team this year as he is taking care of his kids. I believe he has a newborn at home. So I'm not sure who RV's pitching coach is for this season, because I don't think that's Dan Haverstick. That might be Dan Haverstick out there. So he might just be in place of Singer, talking with his man Mason Hill, making sure that he doesn't get too far away from him and that this game doesn't get too far gone, because RV definitely wants, as a 12 seed, to really be the upending force in this tournament. The other games going on today, Gloucester Catholic versus Vineland at Clearview. The other game in that bracket is Shalleck versus Clearview. So even though it's a neutral site, Clearview and St. Augustine will get second round, quote, home games. Strike is called. At Pop Lloyd Stadium, it'll be Haddonfield and Kingsway, and then Eastern and Haddon Heights. St. Augustine Regional will be St. Augustine and Delsey, and then Bishop Eustace and Mainland, which should be a really good game. And then obviously here today, being RV Northern Burlington, and then Egg Harbor Cherry Hill West. Strike called on the outside corner. Backdoor breaking ball. Hill is not much of a strikeout guy. He is going to put the ball in play. When he had his complete game effort versus Eastern a few weeks ago on April the 30th, he only struck out one batter in his 7-inning effort. He threw under 100 pitches as well. He threw a Maddox. Although Maddoxes apply for 9-inning games, not 7-inning games. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But actually, a pretty nice day here at Alcyon Park. You know, hopefully the rain doesn't wash us away, but this should be a pretty nice day, all things considered. The 1-2. Ball's fouled back. That one headed down into the woods and ends up on the softball field. Alcyon Park, though, one of my favorite places to walk. Some folks taking in their Saturday jogs or Saturday walks, especially once you go around the baseball field and you get back into the woods, it takes you to the lake. I'm pretty sure the whole loop is about 3/4 of a mile. So I walk it 2 laps, and that's 1.5 miles. Takes about half hour. Whoa, that one sails away from Gaskell. Runner gets to third. And the wildest of wild pitches as that one just slipped out of the hands of Hill. And it'll move Brent Wallalack to third. Two to 1 Northern Burlington over Rancocas Valley. Here in the second round of the Diamond Classic from Alcyon Park, here in Pittman, New Jersey, heart of Gloucester County. Marchetti reaches for one, hits it out to left field. Stackhouse was on a shift, and he's not going to get there. That was a crazy shift for Kareem Stackhouse. I don't know where he was, but that's going to allow a run to score. That would have been a straightaway fly ball, easy for him to make. And RV, I think their entire bench was a little bit befuddled by that because he just gave up a run, and Dan Haverstick's not happy either. I wonder if he was in the wrong position because he was really far over. And now Aiden Gaskell's telling Stackhouse to move over further to his right. Because that was a very easy catch if you're in your normal position. But Stackhouse was unable to get it. I would assume that he was shifted over because of the lefty, but even then I think he was shifted too far over. Because Marchetti is a good spray hitter. He's really able to hit it to all parts of the field. He hits it down the line. He hits it to his pull side. He hits it to center. He hits it everywhere. So it's not really going to do you very good to shift that heavily versus somebody that hits the ball that well to all facets of the field. But it's now 3-1 on the RBI single by Marchetti. He's now 2 for 2. Liam Vellet flew out to left field in the bottom of the first inning. By the way, they are saying that earned run, the run that was scored in the top of the first inning, that was unearned because there was a throwing error. Just had to get a quick clarification on that because they did score a throwing error on Vellet. Vellet now with a base hit. And he's now 1 for 2. So here's Downey. The pitcher looking to help his own cause. 3-1 Greyhounds over the Red Devils. Popped up. This could be in play. Gaskell doesn't see it. Now the first baseman's going to run over, and it's out of play. Look at Jordan Gilligo in the on-deck circle. This is something that I see a lot of players do now. Instead of using bat weights, they're just swinging 2 bats at once. I mean, you got to think about it. I got to think about how heavy a standard metal bat is. I guess it's double the weight. And I guess that would be, in principle, more effective than a bat donut or a bat weight. Ground ball. Shortstop. Valley has it. Throw to first is high. He can't get the tag down. He is safe. He never touched the runner. And the bases are loaded as RV, a team that has historically struggled with defense. I mean, this is a two-out rally that really could have been preventable. It's your butterfly effect there. It'll be an E6. And it's going to bring up Gilligo. I mean, it all tracks back to that fly ball in left field from Cole Marchetti. That was a straightaway fly ball that was in the pocket of the left fielder, but Stackhouse was shifted too far over, and that ball dropped. It was bewildering. And then now look what's happened. Another single by Vellet and a base hit by Downey, and now Hill's in trouble. Gets a strike called in the outside corner. 0-1, Downey. Pardon to Gilligo. The seventh batter of the inning for Northern Burlington. In the bottom of the third, 2 runs home. Chance for many more. Outside there and up, 1-1. One ball, one strike. Hill looks back at second. Kicks and delivers. Strike called, 1-2. But I think this game's going to still be a back-and-forth contest because both of these teams are very big. RV a Group 4, Northern Burlington a Group 3. I do wonder, depending on the results of today's game, if RV will still play Northern Burlington a second time next week, next Thursday. This ball's fouled, right field line, out of play. Northern Burlington has had 8 hits in the first 2 innings. 4 in the first, 4 in the second. That one's high, 2-2. And Hill was frustrated with himself. Just didn't get the release that he wanted. He wanted that one a little bit further down. But I wouldn't be surprised if he goes with an off-speed here. Northern Burlington hasn't hit the off-speed incredibly well. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to set up outside and try to get him to chase, or at least force weak contact. Because, again, Hill, not a very big strikeout pitcher, but you might need one here. The 2-2. That is an off-speed, but it misses high and inside. Hill struggling with some control here, and after a 2-strike start, he's now back to a full count. So nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Runners will most likely be going on the pitch. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hill ready. And the 3-2. This ball's hit well, out to left field. This one's hit. Could this be a grand slam? Going back, it is caught by Stackhouse. Looked good off the bat, but it looked even better in the glove of Kareem Stackhouse as a huge flyout ends the inning, and Mason Hill can take a sigh of relief as he only allows the 2 runs. That could have been a lot worse. We go to the top of the third. It's Northern Burlington 3, Rancocas Valley 1. Welcome back. Kareem Stackhouse up for Rancocas Valley, 9-1-2. Stackhouse, Sprague, and Alvarez. Northern Burlington leads 3-1. Missed there. Two and 0. Strike called. By the way, over at Pop Lloyd Stadium, it's no score after 2 innings between Haddon Heights and Eastern. And Shalleck, it's fouled back off the pole. Clearview leads Shalleck 7-1 at the end of the first inning. So a 7 spot for the Pioneers for a Shalleck team that edged out Doan Academy 8-7. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kareem Stackhouse, the left fielder. Downey agrees with his catcher Vellet in the delivery. Outside, strong fastball, and it's 3-2. Just a lot of hits. Chase Cardeal had an RBI single. Cook had a 2-run single. And Sawyer Wood, had a double. There's a swing and a miss. Stackhouse goes down. That's 4 strikeouts for Gilligo. We go back to the top of the card for Joey Sprague. Sprague 1 for 1. He singled in the first inning, came around to score. First pitch, outside. Some other scores from South Jersey from last night, as we haven't mentioned yet. Seneca topped West Hampton Tech 17-0. Cherry Hill East still in their winning ways. They beat Triton 7-4. Oakcrest beat Atlantic City 12-1. Holy Spirit beat Ocean City 11-8. Paulsboro upset Overbrook 6-4. Pemberton beat Leap Academy 25-0. Haddon Township beat Cinnaminson 12-5. That's a big win for their power points in Group 1, as there's a strike called. Bishop Eustis beat Rancocas Valley 12-3. Glassboro beat Deptford 5-0. That's another big win for them in power points, with Deptford being a Group 3. Let's see what else we have. Not too many teams played yesterday. I think they were preparing for the Diamond if they were in it. As a high chopper, this one way up in the air, but it goes out of play, and it's 3-2. Keeping up with South Jersey, Pittman topped Timber Creek 7-5. And our game last night was Wildwood over Pleasantville 17-11. And then the last one that's in the box score is Lower Cape May over Wildwood Catholic 7-0. A combined 12 errors in that game, 6 for each Pleasantville and Wildwood. Up and in, and it's 3-2. That one's high. So the patience pays off for Joey Sprague, and it's a 1-out walk here in the top of the third. So it'll bring up Jalen Alvarez. Had a good barrel, but lined out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. Downey ready, runner trailing. That one's a strike called outside corner, 0-1. Next week on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, on Monday, we will have Olympic Conference baseball between Cherry Hill West and Paul VI. And Tuesday, we'll be down in South Harrison Township for Tri-County Conference softball between Gloucester Catholic and Clearview at 7 p.m. Wednesday will be another Tri-County matchup between Kingsway and GCIT. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be the Region 19 tournament. 4 teams will compete for the Region 19 title and an automatic bid to the NJSIAA Division III World Series in Herkimer, New York. First pitch on Thursday and Friday will be 12 noon. It's a double elimination tournament. We know that RCSJ Gloucester has clinched their ticket. Camden upset Rowan Cumberland to get their spot, and I'd have to look at the other scores. I believe Brookdale is also in, and so is Northampton. So that would most likely be your final four. That one hits Alvarez, and it hit the umpire. Took a pinball effect there, and home plate umpire got banged up by that more than I thought. I think he got hit in the hand. Now, Pittman does have an athletic trainer on site. That is Pittman High School's athletic trainer. I don't know if RV or Northern Burlington's trainers traveled for today, but Gene Darling is out checking on the home plate umpire. His base umpire as well talks to him, Dan Haverstick as well. But again, I think he got hit on the hand on a ricochet from when Alvarez got hit. Seems like he's kind of shaking it off. I just have to imagine it's a stinger for sure. I think they're just going to give him a minute, if you will. He's got his helmet in his hand, or his face mask, pardon. And he will stay in the game. So that is very good. Again, I think he got hit on the hand or the wrist, and that never feels any good. We had a player last night for Wildwood who showed bunt, pulled back, and then got hit right in the wrist. And he was pretty banged up, but he stayed in the game, and he was okay. So Sprague on second, Alvarez on first. A walk and a hit by pitch, and now Adams the batter. First pitch upstairs. Downey's going to have to work on his control here. It's never a confidence booster to have two runners on by your own volition. A walk or a hit by pitch is what I call it, bats by your own volition. You know, if you give up a base hit, usually that means that you're either, throwing the ball too close to the center or somebody just got a good barrel on. You can go either way, but there's no hit by pitches that aren't your fault as the pitcher. So you really just have to settle down, and I wouldn't be surprised if he throws another ball here if Gene Darling comes out and talks to him, because he'll probably need a couple words of wisdom here. As a 2-0, he does get the strike. I wouldn't be surprised if, regardless, Darling comes out to talk to him, because you don't want to go down as the 2 seed in the second round. You really don't want to do that. Two-one. Runners go. Both go. No play for Vellet. And I think that there was a miscommunication between the shortstop in Wallalack and Vellet. I don't think that, he never really even went to cover the bag. So Vellet went to throw, and they just ignored it. So 3 balls, 1 strike. 1 away, and the tying run is in scoring position. Strike called, lower half. In the on-deck circle will be Evan Valley, the shortstop for the Red Devils. But a big at-bat here in the top of the third, second round of the Diamond Classic. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Downey delivers. This one is hit into center field. This is going to drop. Outfield was in. Here comes the throw. Stop sign at third. Ball is up on the infield. Vellet slides to save it, but it's an RBI single for Henry Adams. 2 for 2, 2 RBIs. And that's the biggest swing of them all so far, as it's now a 3-2 Northern Burlington lead. And most importantly, a 1-run game here in the third inning. Both teams have been hitting the ball well today, but it's been very fundamental baseball. You don't have a lot of guys going for home run swings. As now Westerberg, the pitching coach for Northern Burlington, will come out and talk to Downey. Looks like the rain, by the way, we just took a look at the forecast. It does look like the worst part of the rain is moving north, and it may actually miss us entirely. It may hit the Burlington County area and Trenton and Mercer County, but it doesn't look like it's actually going to hit us that hard, if at all, which is why baseball coaches don't reschedule games until the last minute. I criticize them for it sometimes, but sometimes in New Jersey it's incredibly unpredictable. And this is a great example of it. So Evan Valley, the batter. Valley misses away. Runners on the corners for the Red Devils. That one misses. And again, I really don't feel like Downey's confidence is in a good spot right now. I think he knows that he's struggling. But again, he's a Division I baseball player. He's headed to Villanova. If you're going to figure out your ebbs and flows, it's better to figure it out at the high school level than it is to figure it out at the Division I level in Philadelphia. Well, I guess Villanova is not technically in Philadelphia, but they consider it to be. It's kind of the honorary member of the Big Five. You know, you got Temple, Drexel, LaSalle, St. Joe's, and the other one I'm missing. But Villanova usually considered a part of that, you know, kind of as we said, an honorary member, even though they're not in the Philadelphia city limits. Ball 4. Runner was off on the pitch. Valley took it high. And the bases are loaded with only one out. 4 straight base runners have reached. Alvarez on third, Adams on second, Valley on first. And some big trouble here for the Group 3 state champions in Northern Burlington. As the batter is Eddie Rominski. I remember covering Northern Burlington back in 2024 when they played Cherokee in the first round of the Diamond, as the strike is called. Cherokee was the 4 seed, and Northern Burlington was the 28 seed. And Northern Burlington won that game. They went on to go on to the semifinals, I believe. They went on an incredible run. I mean, that 2024 tournament was one of the wildest ones that we have ever seen in the Diamond Classic. And I remember thinking about it, and I'm like, this is a darn talented Northern Burlington team. They just upset Cherokee, and I thought, don't be surprised if they make a big impact next year. And what do you know? They go 28-2, and they win the Group 3 state title, and now they're 17-1. Won 16 games in a row, 15 games in a row before their first loss versus Haddonfield. 2 balls, 1 strike. Good frame by Vellet. Got that one to go back in, and it's 2-2. In the bottom of the third for Northern Burlington, it'll be 6, 7, and 8, leading off with Brenner Porgesum. But a big spot here to keep the lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a line drive. Left field line, it'll go foul into the bullpen. Rominski 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He's batting .255 this year. But Jordan Downey just trying to settle in here and looking to keep the lead for the Greyhounds. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the first baseman, Rominski. This ball skied, left field, down the line. A lot of room to run in foul territory. Going over. He makes the catch, and the run will score. Tie game. So a sacrifice fly to left field. Rominski drives in the tying run, and that's at least what you needed there with 1 out. So it scores Alvarez. I apologize if I said 2 outs at one point. I don't know if I did, but it just kind of slipped my mind. I was like, wait a second, did I say 2 outs? Batter is Del Val. Swing and a miss. So the game is tied 3-3. Rominski with the sac fly to left field. I've got folks around me in the booth today to correct me. It's not a solo show. Swing and a miss. Ball pops out of the glove of Vellet, and both runners advance. So a double steal now puts the go-ahead run 90 feet away. Adams on third, Valley on second. For Varon Del Val. Inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, 3-3 game in the third. And 2 runners in scoring position with Logan Downey, the commit to Villanova, looking to keep this game in Northern Burlington's control. Upstairs, Del Val did not offer. So you could say now for sure that Downey has allowed his first earned runs of the year. But it still doesn't mean his ERA is going to be high. 23 innings of scoreless baseball is nothing to scoff at. It's a swing and a miss. Del Val goes down on strikes, but Rancocas Valley has tied the game on an RBI single by Henry Adams and a sacrifice fly by Eddie Rominski. We go to the bottom of the third, 3-3 game. Welcome back. Brenner Porgesum is the batter. 3-3 game. Mason Hill, strike called, 0-1. 6, 7, and 8 for the Greyhounds. Porgesum, Klusman, and Otto. Rancocas Valley tied the game with an RBI single by Henry Adams and a sacrifice fly in the top of the third from Eddie Rominski. That one's high. Adams now with 2 RBIs for the Red Devils, the 12 seed. The 3-0. That one is low. Or no, excuse me. Not 3-0. 1-1. I instinctively looked at the scoreboard. That's my bad. So now it's 2-1. Sometimes my head speaks before my brain does, as that one's called a strike on the outside corner. Porgesum disagrees, and it's 2-2. The second game of the day, as we mentioned, will be Egg Harbor and Cherry Hill West at 1 o'clock. Now, I would imagine if this game runs over that slot, as in maybe it finishes at 12:30, they'd have a 30-minute break and try to start as close to 1 as they can, as there's a 6-3 ground out. Hit well to Valley, but he's able to bring that one in for the first out. Batter is Klusman. An update from the Atlantic City Regional. No score after 3 innings between Eastern and Rancocas Valley. If you ever get a chance to look at Pop Lloyd Stadium, it is quite the interesting field. It is a navy blue turf with red, not red clay, but red bases. It's kind of like the Boise State blue turf for football, except it's for baseball. It's funny that a lot of people didn't know that Boise State had a baseball program for 8 games, as there's a base hit to left field. That's the 9th hit of the day. It's the second by Klusman. 9 hits for Northern Burlington, and they have yet to hit an extra base hit. So the batter will be Damian Otto, who had a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. In the second. That's the thing about Northern Burlington, is that they had 8 hits in the first 2 innings, but they only got 3 runs out of it. If you're Gene Darling, you're certainly looking at the scoreboard right now as a partially wasted opportunity. But Hill has also been throwing well. I mean, look at Jordan Gilligo's last at-bat in the second inning. We thought that might have been gone, but Kareem Stackhouse brought it in and he left the bases loaded. How much damage would that have been to Rancocas Valley's long-term game plan if that was the case, if that ball did get out? Fly ball, jammed, but it's to shallow center field. Sprague comes in with the slide. He'll make the catch. What a play by Joey Sprague. When we saw RV last, he made another play like that, except it was on a dive. And he retires Damian Otto with that fly ball. Batter will be Jake Bartlett. Fly ball again on the first pitch. Sprague will have another chance. Calling him off is Alvarez, and he'll make the play. Inning over. We go to the 4th inning. No score in that inning except for the Red Devils as we go to the top of the 4th, 3-3 here in Pittman. Welcome back. Here's the play that was a great one in the second inning. Taking a look here. This was that diving catch in center field by Joey Sprague. First pitch is low and out to Malcolm Harrison. St. Augustine leads Delsea 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Alex Weingartner, the Penn State commit, who looks like he could be an MLB draft prospect this summer, is at the plate. That game, I believe, is on Hermit's Broadcasting. One ball, one strike. Malcolm Harrison inside corner, call the strike. 7-8-9 for the Red Devils. Harrison, Gaskell, and Stackhouse. But a lot of history here in Pittman. This, of course, for those unfamiliar, because Alcyon Park is a bit of a hike for both of these teams. They had to travel 45 minutes or more to get here from East Hampton for RV and from Columbus Township or Mansfield Township for Northern Burlington. That one fouled back. This used to be a 1/3 of a mile dirt racetrack. The embankment you see where the hill is in right field used to be where the track was and the grandstand for said track. And right now where we're standing is right around where one of the turns was for the racetrack. It held several high-level professional races in the 1940s and 50s, and even in the 1930s as well, before NASCAR came around in 1949. But it is a big part of South Jersey racing history because there's not much left. Really, all there is New Egypt Speedway in Central Jersey in Ocean County as a fly ball right field taken in by Otto for out number 1. So there's New Egypt, and then there's Bridgeport in Swedesboro. And, of course, there's New Jersey Motorsports Park in Millville, but that's about it. And if you're not an auto racing person and you're a horse racing person instead, there's really not much either because I can't remember the name of it, but it was the horse racing track in Cherry Hill that closed down some 25 years ago. Bottom of the 4th inning here in Pittman. In the first pitch, strike called inside to Gaskell. Home plate umpire has been calling that inside strike all day, and Downey has used it well. Now, if you're Northern Burlington, you do have some other, I say important games. Northern Burlington has already won their division in the BCSL Liberty, so you can kind of hold off for your pitching for Monday versus Haddon Heights. I'm not exactly sure what their plan would be, but you have to imagine with no divisional games left that they have to play because they only have 4 teams in their division: Northern Burlington, Cinnaminson, Delran, and then Burlington Township. And they've gone through their own ebbs and flows this year. Burlington Township had a coaching change mid-season. Steve Hovart was removed from the position in what is a very interesting case. We don't really know all the details of it yet, but the superintendent of Burlington Township Schools removed him from his position. So now Andrew Ellis is the head coach there, but he's the second head coach in South Jersey this year to be removed mid-season. Joe Smith resigned from his position after an alleged incident during a preseason trip in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. David and I discussed that on a recent episode of our podcast as well. That one's outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Aiden Gaskell. But Northern Burlington is not afraid to play out of division or out of conference competition. They played Allentown, Nottingham, Steiner, and Hopewell Valley so far this season, and they already will play Haddon Heights on Monday, Delsea on Saturday the 16th, which they'll have to move that game if they make it to the quarterfinals, Cherokee on the 19th, and Morristown on the 21st. So that Delsea and Cherokee game would have to be moved if they were to make the finals. Courtesy runner at first for Rancocas Valley. Apologies for the delay. That is number 1, James Bove. So after Gaskell's walk with 1 away, the batter is Stackhouse. Stackhouse shows bunt, unable to square. Bove was off the bag. He's safe at first base. Northern Burlington disagrees, but Bove got back in there, and Darling's going to come out and ask for an appeal. He disagrees, most likely thinks he's out at first. And I think he's also saying that the umpire wasn't in the proper position for where he was supposed to be with the runner on first. I think he's arguing that he didn't have a better angle of it than the home plate umpire. But nothing is going to stand here. Yeah, so Darling and the home plate umpire trying to make sure they're on the same page, but it's 0-1 after Stackhouse failed to go around, or did go around on the bunt attempt. Stackhouse 0 for 1 with a strikeout. This one's fouled down the first base line. And it's 0-2. For RV after today, they'll host Burlington Township on Monday the 11th. They will visit Cherokee for an Olympic American game on the 13th. And then, as we said, they will play Northern Burlington on the 14th in non-conference play. So, again, I don't know if this game is going to stand, or that game is going to stand with this being played in the Diamond. How about that? Liam Vellet. No, couldn't get him. He's safe. Vellet had a strong throw to second base. He tried to disregard the sacrifice. How about Kareem Stackhouse drawing a bunt with 2 strikes? That's a risky move, but that gamble just paid off because he is going to have a fielder's choice with nobody out, and that puts 2 runners on here as we go to the top of the order for Joey Sprague. He's 1 for 1. So that will be scored as a 2-6 fielder's choice with no out recorded because the first attempt was not to first base. So that is not a hit. As Sprague, fly ball, straightaway center field, going in, and making the play will be Bartlett. Here's Jalen Alvarez. He's 0 for 1, lined out to short and a hit by pitch in his first 2 plate appearances. But the snack stand is open. Great crowd on hand from both Northern Burlington and RV making the drive down here. But one common opponent that both of these teams have is Haddon Heights. RV plays them in their last game of the regular season on the 22nd. Northern Burlington plays them on Monday. That is under the lights. So I believe that is at Fitzgerald Field, which is funny enough, it's the home field for my men's league team over in Haddon Heights. Listen, I got a hit in one of my games off of a former Division III pitcher named Billy Keene. He was throwing 82. I don't know why he was playing in my division, but we were down 12-1. Keene was in for the 9th inning, and he just needed reps. And he gave me a fastball belt high. I took it, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to swing no matter what. I make contact, goes down the third base line, and I ended up getting picked off down by 11 runs. That one is low. Vellet traps it. But he pitched at Rutgers Camden a few years ago. So even though it doesn't count for much, I still put in the record books that I got a hit off of a former Division III pitcher in Billy Keene. 2 balls, 1 strike to Alvarez. 2 on for RV in the top of the 4th. This ball's crushed. Center field going back. This could get over the head of Bartlett. It's going to be a tough play. Oh, and he makes the catch. Jake Bartlett makes the catch. Unbelievable. He was way ahead of that baseball. And he saves multiple runs. Wow. That was a Jim Edmonds catch right there. What a play in center field. Back-to-back flyouts retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Tie game, 3-3. Here is the diving catch in center field by Jake Bartlett to end the inning. Unbelievable what he was able to do. I mean, just over his head. Wow. Can't ask for much more than that if you're Northern Burlington. That is a possibly game-defining play is here in the bottom of the fourth inning. It's a 3-3 game. Time is called. Wondering what the... Oh, they're asking for a person to protect the pitcher and catcher. Kind of like a ball boy, if you will. When you're warming up with a pitcher and it's on the field, somebody has to be at least with their back turned to the pitcher to make sure that, or back turned against the pitcher to make sure that no foul balls hit them. It's a matter of protection. But after an amazing catch by Jake Bartlett, it's Walalak, Marchetti, and Vellick. Ground ball, high chopper to short. Tough play for Valley. Picks it up, glove side. Backhand throw is high. That gets away. Hits the second fence. And it'll be a runner on. A very tough play. That one I'm not sure whether I would call a hit or an error. I definitely wouldn't call it ordinary effort. I think I'm going to go infield single because I don't think that he would. I think it would have been a bang-bang play at first. And we can always confirm with the home book, but if I'm being honest, I really only go down there to check for scoring clarifications if there's something like a no-hitter on the line. I had to do that one time. We had a game between earlier this year, Millville and Vineland. Mario Toro had a no-hitter going through 6 innings, and it was at that point he was through 4. And that's when I start to get the gears turning in my head in a 7-inning game of, oh, he might have a no-hitter going. And there was one play where it was a high chopper. We weren't sure if it was a hit or an error, so I asked whoever was behind the plate to check with, because we were in center field, I asked to check with the Vineland dugout. Strike is called. Marchetti showed bunt, but he pulled back. Wonderful breaking ball by Hill. And they said, nope, it was an error, so my scoring hunch was right, and he ended up giving a base hit in the 7th inning. Had a complete game shutout. I have yet to call a no-hitter in a 7-inning game. I've called a few that are 5-inning games. Seth McCormick had one in a combination with Aiden Daly when Gloucester beat Pennsgrove back in 2023. And we had one for Jason Stockland when he threw a no-hitter versus Washington Township back in 2022. But I don't think I've called a 7-inning full-game no-hitter. Maybe at the summer league level I have, but not at high school or college. Pops out of the glove of Gaskell. He saves it, and it's 2-1. Fly ball, Marchetti. Out to center field, straight away for Sprague. He's actually going to move over to the right. That play was tougher than we expected. And Sprague makes the catch for out number 1. Batter will be Liam Vellitt, the Fordham commit. Fordham baseball this year, currently just a few games under 500, 23-28. They are playing in the Atlantic 10 tournament starting on May the 20th. Their last game is, they played a doubleheader yesterday versus St. Louis. The Billikens lost both games of that. They're not playing today. They'll play Sunday versus St. Louis to close out their series. Northern Burlington's trying to argue that there was a balk, and the umpires aren't having any of it, so they're going to shut Northern Burlington down there. Ball to Vellitt. Runner trailing off of first, and now Hill steps off. I mean, Northern Burlington is really trying to entice Hill to step off. Vellitt shows bunt, now a throw back to first. Right at the chest of Verminski. And the runner dives back in safely. Warming up in the bullpen for Northern Burlington is number 3, Damian Otto, who is the right fielder in today's game in the 8th slot. Runner goes, throw down to second. Ball was outside. The throw! He's safe! Tough play. Bang, bang. Hill disagreed with it. And the ball was outside. And the count is 3 balls, no strikes. So Walalak still second base. And now Vellet, they will call an offensive timeout to get Vellet with Gene Darling. Now, the way offensive timeouts work is the exact same as mound visits. You get 1 per inning. And if you can bring in the batter and however many runners are on base. And we'll have a player-to-player meeting here between Gaskell and Hill. I was actually talking with Dan McMaster about it because there have been some changes in the rules in that regard. But more or less, when they're doing player-on-player meetings, as in the pitcher and catcher talking over, the umpire actually has to follow the catcher out to the mound to talk with them because it counts as a player-to-player meeting. Now it's outside, and it's ball 4 to Vellet. So the rule is that's new this year is there's only 1 defensive meeting per inning between the players. So once the catcher goes out to talk to the pitcher, that's it. And again, the umpire follows the catcher out. Like if they're changing signs, you're allowed to do that. But what they were doing is the umpire followed them out to make sure that that's all they talked about. Because if they had mentioned something else or if they were trying to adopt a different strategy, then it would be considered somewhat of a mound visit. Dan Haverstick coming out, another former Division I baseball player, played at Rhode Island about 15 years ago. So very star-studded staff with Rancocas Valley with Dan Haverstick and Jeff Singer, the former Philly. I mean, it's always interesting seeing where the coaches come from, you know, talking about with Rowan College, you've got Rob Valley was the former head coach at Temple when their program had a baseball team. And there have been some high school coaches with professional playing time, especially at the high school football level. You're seeing it now where more and more coaches that played either in the NFL or played Division I, like look at Bill Belton. Former Winslow coach, just got hired at St. Augustine, All-American at Penn State. That's going to be a really interesting season for St. Augustine on the football side. And speaking of Pittman, they just hired a former St. Augustine coach to replace Chris Thomas. As that ball's lined, it's off the glove of Harrison, goes right through it. Into left field, it's going to stop in the grass. Coming around third for the go-ahead run. The throw is high. It airmails. Hill's got it behind the plate. Runner gets down to second base, and the run scores. Brent Walalak comes in on an RBI single that comes off the glove of Malcolm Harrison. I don't know. I might call that an error because that was right to Harrison. It popped out of his glove. I think I'm going to score that an error. I think that's fair. So no RBI then. And now in back-to-back batters, Dan Haverstick comes out, and he's going to make a pitching change. So Mason Hill's day will be done after 3 1/3 innings. He gives up the go-ahead run on a line drive that, again, we will score as an E5, which means that now Downey will be 1 for 3 after he's reached on an error twice. We'll see who Mason Hill is replaced by, but as we said, he's definitely been used to the bright lights as he had a 7-inning complete game effort versus Eastern, but today, Northern Burlington definitely got the bats to the senior. We'll be back after the break. When we return, it'll be 2 runners in scoring position and a 4-3 game.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Welcome back. It's 4-3 Northern Burlington, bottom of the fourth inning, as the infield is in and the pressure is on. First pitch. That one's lined into center field, a base hit. Jordan Gilligo gets it down. Rounding third is the pinch runner. Both will score. Downey and Vasil right behind him. It's 6-3. Greyhounds add on another as they score two on a line drive by Jordan Gilligo. And the first pitch that is seen by the Rancocas Valley right-hander, that's number 15 in Chase Logue, the sophomore, makes it a 6-3 game. Logue has a 4.05 ERA in 27 2/3 innings. 11 walks, 19 Ks, 16 earned runs. That one's outside. A career 4.17 mark. His last appearance was on the 6th versus Lenape. And 3 innings. Was not credited with the win. But struck out none across those 3 innings. So, again, not a lot of strikeout artists on this Rancocas Valley team as that one misses. But to be fair, the competition that Rancocas Valley plays in the Olympic American, they are teams to put the bat on the ball. Eastern, Lenape, Cherokee, Bishop Eustis probably should be in the Olympic American if you ask me, but it would be nice to see them do more of like a promotion and relegation in the Olympic. You know, kind of like the Cape Atlantic does. St. Joe's Hamilton was last in the Cape National along with Atlantic Tech. Both of them got moved down. Middle Township got moved up. And Atlantic Tech's having their best season in a long time. They're 14-7. There's a line drive. It's going to be caught. Runners off the bag. Throw to first. Is in time. Double play. What a way to reverse course. It's a roller coaster inning. 3 runs for the Greyhounds, but it all ends on a positive note for the Red Devils as a line drive double play ends the threat. We're through 4 here in Pittman. It's the Greyhounds the Greyhounds 6 and the Red Devils 3.
In life, the road ahead is... Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place, and we'll show up. This is the...
Top of the 5th inning, Northern Burlington leads 6-3. Here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Second game of the day will be Egg Harbor and Cherry Hill West. Outside. By the way, Clearview is up on Shalleck 11-1 in the 5th inning. So that one looks like that could very well be a mercy rule. 7 runs were scored in the first for Clearview. By the way, over at Pop Lloyd Stadium, still no score in the 4th inning between Haddon Heights and Eastern. Now, Haddon Heights played Delsey last year in the tournament. That's a walk to Adams. Haddon Heights played Delsey last year in the tournament. I mentioned before that second year in a row we're doing the Diamond Double, as in at the neutral site we're getting 2 games in one day. And last year also saw Rancocas Valley. They played Bishop Eustis, lost that game 10-7. And then in the second game, Haddon Heights fell to Delsey 6-4. Frank Chiron recorded his 200th career strikeout in that game. And, of course, little did we know that he would go on to be drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers. Oh, 0-1 to Valley. Another strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Adams has reached base all 3 times, 2 singles, 2 RBIs, and now a walk to open up the 5th inning. The 0-2. Outside. That went just a little bit too far. I think Downey at this point knows what his zone looks like. The outside is going to be called. I mean, those 2 pitches were in nearly the exact same spot, and he knew that they were going to be called strikes. Having confidence in your zone is a big way of getting yourself there, and he's trying it again. That's 4 pitches on the outer half of the zone. But the first 2 worked. Last 2 were a little bit too far to handle, at least for the home plate umpire, as it's 2-2. 6-3 Northern Burlington. The 2-2 from Downey. Swing and a miss. He got him. Downey picks up another one. He's got 7 strikeouts this afternoon. And there's one away as Eddie Rominski's the batter. Strike called outside corner. Again, the winner of this game will face the winner of Delran and Haddon Heights in the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals and semifinals will be held at Kingsway Regional High School and Alcyon Park. It was originally supposed to be at Pittman and Camden County College, but Camden County College apparently did not have enough maintenance. And also, Camden County made the Final Four in the NJSIAA Region 19 tournament, so it would have been a very large conflict to host high school teams on their field while they were practicing. Ground ball, second base. This could be 2. No, it's bobbled. Throw to first is in time, so Borgeson saves himself some embarrassment and some trouble as he was able to rebound it for the out. And it's a 4-3 ground out for the second out of the inning. Adams was able to move to second on the play. And the batter will be Varon Del Val. Northern Burlington, certainly known for their offense. In 9 of their 17 wins this year, they have scored 10 or more runs. It's over half. We saw them in their first 2 games of the year. They shut out Maple Shade 7-0 in the opening day, which David and I did that game. That was one of the most stressful games that I ever did. I actually had to put down the scorecard in the 6th inning because I was unable to move my thumb. It was 42 degrees, 30-mile-an-hour winds, and the real feel was 29 at Northern Burlington. I actually had to sit in my car for about an hour after the game just to warm up, because that was rough. And, of course, I've covered baseball games at Rutgers-Camden that are just as bad in terms of the temperature. It's a swing and a miss by Del Val. It's 0-2. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and a runner on second. Del Val could really help with a bloop base hit here, try to cut into this deficit. If the inning continues, Malcolm Harrison will be on deck for the Red Devils. But it's 6-3 Northern Burlington. Logan Downey, fly ball right field. This one's down the line. Otto going over. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. So RV leaves the runner in scoring position, and another chance for Northern Burlington to add some extra runs to pad their lead. 3-run lead, 6-3, going to the bottom of the 5th. Mark Klisman leads off in the bottom of the 5th inning for Northern Burlington. I'm Dan Wilkins here at Alcyon Park, the picturesque Alcyon Park. I've gotten spoiled this week with some great baseball venues. Last night we were at Maxwell Field in Wildwood, a great place to be, even though it was quite cold. It was down to 50 degrees by the time we got done, and it was a 3-hour game. So my apologies if I'm a little bit off of my off-kilter today, but I got home at midnight last night, driving the hour 15 to get from Wildwood to Pittman. And then, 10 a.m. game, breakfast in baseball, the 0-2. Klisman lines it into center field, a base hit. Takes a clump of the dirt, and it bounces into center field for Sprague to pick it up. Another base hit here. Mark Klisman now 3 for 3, 3 singles. And Northern Burlington still has not had an extra base hit in this game. They have had 12 hits on 6 runs and no doubles. Reminds me a little bit of the 2006 World Series with the Tigers and Cardinals. The Cardinals in Game 5 of that series had 15 hits, and all of them were singles as they topped the Tigers to win the World Series. As that ball gets away, runner will get to second base. So with Klisman on second base, Damian Otto the batter. He's 0 for 1 and a sacrifice bunt and a fly out to center field in his first 2 plate appearances. One ball, one strike. From Logue, fouled back. Just waiting for, there's game changers down there. There's not a lot of protection on those phones. But it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. That makes for kind of a fun perspective effect, shooting a camera at a phone. If that one gets away, runner will advance to third. And now another insurance run for Northern Burlington is 90 feet away. Yeah, that one looks like it's a game changer. It's a little bit hard to see. So excuse my curiosity, but it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Damian Otto, the right fielder. Jammed, popped up to first base. This one's in play, but it's out. Went out down the first base line, and it's 2-2 still as Otto fights off another. In the on-deck circle will be Jake Bartlett, the center fielder, had a very nice defensive play that really changed the course of the game because Northern Burlington, after the game was tied, that diving catch in center field, the circus catch, saved several runs and really put us in the position we're in now. The 2-2. That one gets away. Now let go through Gaskell. He doesn't see where it is, and the run will score. Wild pitch scores Klisman from third base. And Otto will now have a clean slate as it's now 7-3 Greyhounds. And that is ball 4. So Logue struggling with the strike zone. He was ahead in the count, but a couple of bad misses. Not to mention the fact that, Klisman got to second base on a stolen base, then to third on a wild pitch, and scored on a wild pitch. So a very wild trip around the bases for Mark Klisman, and the batter will be Jake Bartlett. Darling is going to ask for a courtesy runner at first, although that would be a pinch runner because Otto is not a pitcher or a catcher, although Otto was warming up down the right field line earlier, so he may actually come out of this game and re-enter as a pitcher. So that might be what it is. The new runner for Northern Burlington is number 27. That is Sam Cannizzaro, the sophomore. Bartlett showing no secrets. Pulls a bunt. Now the runner's going to go down to second. A delayed throw, and he got him. That was a confusing play on all fronts, and immediately Canizaro's out. I don't know what he did there. I mean, Bartlett, he wasn't holding the bat right for the bunt. He was holding it, like, over his head. He was holding it in front of him, like, upright. And then Canizaro just didn't commit. He was in between first and second and then tried to go down. Very confusing play. But kind of a rookie mistake there by Northern Burlington, and it costs them an out. I mean, they already have a run home, but that's the first out of the inning. Certainly one that they would like to have back. Grounder, third base side. Harrison, snow cone, throw to first, in time. Great play by Malcolm Harrison. Get that one on the run. Makes up for his error in the field earlier. He's had a lot of unlucky breaks. The ball popping out of his glove several times. But he's had a few good catches as well. Let's just say the hot corner's been hot. And there's 2 away. Back to the top of the order for Brent Wallach. Outside. Strike is called. Strike called. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Chase Logue looking to limit the damage after 2 quick outs. 1 on the bases and 1 in the field. Gaskell saves that it's 2-2. Line drive. Talk about hit number 13. Another single by Brent Wallach. He is now 4 for 4 with 4 singles. No more, no less. And the batter will now be Marchetti. That ball's hit out towards right center field on the first pitch. Think he got under it. Alvarez goes over, and he makes the catch to retire the side. Northern Burlington adds on a run on a base hit, and then a wild pitch brings home Mark Klussman. It's a 4-run lead after 5. Final 6 outs for the Red Devils. It's 7-3. Welcome back. Damian Otto, the new pitcher for the Greyhounds, a 1.08 ERA for the junior right-hander. 7 walks, 13 Ks. He's thrown 13 innings this year. His first task will be Malcolm Harrison. RV down to their last 6 outs. No sign of Egg Harbor or Cherry Hill West yet. But maybe that's a good sign for Game 2 starting on time, as Harrison, the 0-1, is a strike called, and so in 2. Harrison 0 for 2. Ground out and a strikeout. Rancocas Valley has not recorded a hit in anyone other than the 1, 2, or 3 hitters. Valley has a walk. Rominski has a sac fly. Delval, Harrison, and Stackhouse haven't reached base. And Gaskell has a walk. So not to put RV down, but the bottom of the order hasn't really done what they need to do in this game. And speaking of, Egg Harbor Township is here. Bus just pulled into the to the roundabout, or into the circle. Otto, the 0-2. That one sails off the glove of Vellet towards the RV dugout. Egg Harbor Township upset Pennsauken in the first round 7-2. Pennsauken right now 7th in South Jersey Group 4 in the power points as Harrison flies one. Right field, it's shallow. This is a tough play in the triangle, diving, but can't get there. Was Klisman. It's 0-2. Just about 11:50, seeing some pockets of blue in the sky this afternoon. In a day that we were worried if it was going to be a washout, now looks like the rain is either going to barely hit us, barely, or it could miss us entirely. As Otto picks up the strikeout, there's out number 1. Aiden Gaskell will be the batter. And Harrison offering some tips, some words of wisdom to Gaskell. And that's what shows a good team player. Is Malcolm Harrison, he struck out. I see so many players at the youth level, 10, 12-year-olds. I'm sorry, but they're all about themselves. There are far too many players that are very self-centered. And there's not enough coaches to tell them that they're wrong. Because in travel baseball as a whole, parents pay too much money, and they pay so much money that they don't want their coaches criticizing their children. They don't want coaches actually coaching them. They just want them to be on the elite diamond select team or whatever, where you pay X amount of dollars to be in, one of these elite tournaments because we're now scouting 8-year-olds. But I'm sorry, I got a little bit off tangent. But what I'm saying is Harrison right there, you don't see too many players do that, and it's a sign of being a team player that he struck out. He didn't put his head down. He didn't slam his helmet. He didn't throw his bat down. He instead just walked away, and he went up to his guy in the on-deck circle and said, hey, this is what I saw. This is what you should look for. And there's a strike called to Gaskell. He thought that was ball 4. He'll go back in the box, and it's 3-2. Point is, though, is that now that you're seeing a new pitcher for the first time, the dynamic changes. Both of these guys had 2 at-bats versus Downey, and now the perspective has changed as another slider misses out. Gaskell picks up his second walk of the game. And it'll be Kareem Stackhouse in the 9 slot for RV. Haverstick will have a courtesy runner for the man at first. And that'll be number 1, James Bove. So Egg Harbor is here. Egg Harbor must have had a much longer trip than Cherry Hill West, but Cherry Hill West is not here yet. You've got to imagine Cherry Hill West maybe 35 minutes, and then Egg Harbor probably close to an hour. Here comes a bunt. Up the first base line. Otto goes for it. Flips it to the bag. He got him. Last second shovel of the glove by Damian Otto picks up the out. It's a 1-3 sacrifice bunt. Stackhouse out at first. It moves Gaskell's runner Bove to second base. And we'll go back to the top of the order here for Joey Sprague. If RV falls today, they'll go to 11-9. Northern Burlington would go to 18-1, pending the results of the second game between Delran and Haddon Heights. By the way, a final in the 5-inning game between Shalleck and Clearview. Clearview punches their ticket to the quarterfinals with a 13-3 win. Ground ball to first base on the first pitch. Sprague is retired, and the inning is over. So another shutdown inning. This time it comes from Damian Otto as through going to the bottom of the 6th here in Pittman. It's the Greyhounds 7 and the Red Devils 3. Welcome back. Chase Logue still in for the bottom of the 6th inning. Again, Northern Burlington and Rancocas Valley, they are scheduled to meet on Thursday. As that one misses outside to Liam Vellet. And the sun is shining. How about that? On a day that we thought for sure was going to be a gamble with Mother Nature. Seems like with this gamble we've hit 777. But before we go to the 7th inning, it's 7-3 Northern Burlington. 3, 4, and 5 for the Greyhounds. Vellet, Downey, and Gilligo. The 1-1. Up and in. Vellet decided not to wear it. He ducks away, and it's 2-1. By the way, finally have an update in Eastern and Haddon Heights. Eastern leads 1-0. So I apologize. The winner of this game will play Eastern and Haddon Heights. So that game is still ongoing. But how about the fact that they're only through 4 innings, and we are in the bottom of the 6th. So RV and Northern Burlington making good time. I think some folks got confused when they heard about the news of the shot clock, and they decided we're going to run with a pitch clock instead. A ground ball, high chopper to third, goes out of the glove of Harrison. He'll pick this one up. Throw to first is in time, and a 5-3 ground out is out number 1. That is interesting, the shot clock for basketball. Barely passed the membership vote for the NJSIAA, 170 to 166. Now, I was talking with Brian Kniff last night from Cape Atlantic Live, and apparently nearly 80 athletic directors were not present at the membership vote. Therefore, they didn't vote on the shot clocks. There was 1 vote for lacrosse, and there was 1 for basketball. And the lacrosse vote failed, and the basketball vote passed by 2 votes because they needed 169 to pass. Actually, only passed by 1. There's a fly ball, right field line. It'll go out of play. But I believe there is a mandatory membership meeting later in the year for all athletic directors, and they will vote on the shot clock again because, again, 80 athletic directors that didn't attend the meeting in Robbinsville. Got to imagine that there's some that are on the dissenting side of the shot clock debate. If it passes, it would go into effect in the 2027-2028 season. But that's another official, another installation fee and maintenance fee for the high schools involved as a ground ball to third. Harrison is there. Throw to first is in time. Back-to-back 5-3 groundouts is out number 2, and we'll see if Northern Burlington gets any insurance. But Cherry Hill West is here. Batter is Jordan Gilligo. Northern Burlington, what a team they've got. Group 3 state champions in 2025. Right now the number 1 seed by a country mile in Central Group 3. And 5 Division I commits at the top of their order. Wallalack, Marist, Marquette to Rutgers, Vellet to Fordham, Downey to Villanova, and Gilligo, as we mentioned, to Wagner. Now Wagner plays in the NEC over in Staten Island with teams like Central Connecticut State, Delaware State. This will be a bit of a full circle moment for Dan McMaster, though, because he was a former head coach at Pittman back around 15 years ago. And a Pittman grad, I believe. Okay. I apologize. He is a grad of Pittman, but played at William and Mary in Virginia. Was also an assistant at Cherry Hill East. As there's a fly ball, center field. This one's tagged pretty well. Going back. This is going to be a tough play, but Joey Sprague brings it in again. Another diving play in center field. Takes away extra bases, and the inning is over. So last swings for RV. They trail by 4. It is not a save situation, but Damian Otto will come out for another inning here in Pittman at Alcyon Park. It's 7-3 going to the 7th.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Two Pittman alums there, John Hopley and Dan McMaster talking it over. Cherry Hill West is here just about the 12 o'clock hour. It is just noon now, but Damian Otto still on for the 7th inning, looking for a 6-out performance here to try to shut down Rancocas Valley and punch their ticket to the quarterfinal round. Time was called. Rancocas Valley didn't have their first base coach ready. 7-3 Northern Burlington. The batter is Alvarez to lead off. 2, 3, and 4 for the Red Devils. Swing and a miss. Northern Burlington, 7 runs on all singles. They have had 13 hits in the game, and all of them have been just single base hits. Now, they have taken advantage of a few RV errors. They've taken a lot of unlucky bounces. And it'll be Alvarez, Adams, and Valley. Otto ready. Breaking ball outside. 1-2. Otto kicks and delivers. Low. The next game again will be Egg Harbor Township and Cherry Hill West. Those two teams last met in 2021. Alvarez cracks one to left center off the end of the bat. Going over and making the catch will be Bartlett for out number 1. So Northern Burlington looking for their 18th win of the year. As they're looking to deny Rancocas Valley a quarterfinal ticket in the Diamond Classic, 52nd annual, and the 3rd year of the 32-team tournament. Now, if you ask me, again, I do not have a seat at the table. I am just yet another loudmouth in South Jersey. But what I'll say is I really think the best way for this tournament to be recognized and also to include a swath of teams from different talents and different backgrounds is to make it 24 teams. That way there's no concerns about whether teams should be in or should be out or whether they deserve to be in, because we've had teams with only 5 or 6 wins make the tournament this year. I don't think that's the best representation of what the unofficial South Jersey Championship should be. That's my personal opinion. The 1-2. Check swing. And I was talking with John Galante, I also miss the different rules that came with the Diamond Classic. They used to have a pitch clock. They used to have accelerated breaks between innings. You were only allowed, I think it was 1:30 between every inning. Like, they sped up the game. But umpires didn't want to, I think it was the umpires or the coaches that didn't want to adhere to the rules anymore. And then there was a point where umpires just stopped enforcing the rules of the Diamond Classic. It made it different. But the count is 3-2 to Henry Adams. He's reached base all 3 times. 2 singles, 2 RBIs, and a walk. It's a 3-2. That one's hit out towards center field. Another tough play for Bartlett. Going back, he'll make the play straight away, and that's out number 2. So it's 12:05. I would imagine that these two do not want to start early. I mean, if they do, that would probably mess us up. But, again, we're accompaniments to the entertainment. We are not controlling the entertainment. So Evan Valley could be the last out here. Again, I'm Dan Wilkins of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you'd like to make a contribution to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, send us anything you'd like via our Venmo at DW Broadcasting. No spaces, no hyphens. Of course, not required, but incredibly appreciated for all of the work that our assistants do in South and Central Jersey to cover athletics across all sports, all seasons. As there's a strike call. Beautiful breaking ball by Damian Otto. And Northern Burlington, the number 2 seed last year and the number 2 seed this year, looking for an opportunity to make the quarterfinals. The 0-2 outside, skips away. Actually, Cherokee was the number 2 seed last year, so Northern Burlington was still quite high up there. But last year's final, Mainland and Haddonfield, both teams, they advanced into the second round. Haddonfield topping Williamstown and Mainland topping Moorestown. The 2 teams in game number 2 waiting in the wings, but for now, the 1-2. Swing and a foul tip. Hit the backstop. In the beautiful backdrop of Alcyon Park, we're up here in the press box with a great vantage point behind the plate. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Evan Valley. He's 0 for 2. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Low. By the way, a pertinent update in regarding who this winner will face. Haddon Heights, they just took the lead on Eastern 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Haddon Heights broke up Eastern's no-hitter as the 2-2 fouled back into the parking lot. And this at-bat just won't go down. But a valiant effort here from Evan Valley, even if it's a losing effort for the Red Devils. We'll see the Red Devils in the last game of the regular season on Friday, May the 22nd versus Haddon Heights. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball, this could do it. Popped up to first base. Down the line. It's out of play. It just carried out. And the at-bat stays alive again for Damian Otto, looking for the 6th out, shut down in relief. RV has not scored since the 3rd inning. Adams got the first run of the game in the top half of the 1st with an RBI single. And then an RBI single by Adams in the 3rd, followed by a sacrifice fly by Eddie Rominski. The 2-2. Ground ball in between 3rd and short. Tough play. Walalak on the run. The throw. The split. He got him. And that's the ball game. Northern Burlington punches their ticket with their 18th win of the year into the Diamond Classic quarterfinals with a 7-3 win over the Red Devils, the 12 seed. What a game it was. Northern Burlington, 13 hits, all singles, fundamental baseball all around. And the Greyhounds improved to 18-1 on that very tough play by Brent Walalak, the commit to the Marist Red Foxes. Your final score tonight, Northern Burlington 7, Rancocas Valley 3. Your player of the game will go to our pitcher, Jordan Downey, who, I mean, it could go to Brent Walalak. I'm not sure. I mean, he had an RBI. He scored twice and ended up having 4 hits. But Logan Downey, your pitcher, had 7 strikeouts in 4 1/3 innings. And then, in 5 innings, Damian Otto was able to finish it out. So, yeah, let's give it to Logan Downey. 2 hits, 7 strikeouts on the mound, and only 3 runs allowed. But that'll be all for us tonight in Game 1 of the Diamond Double. Egg Harbor and Cherry Hill West will follow. If you'd like to watch the second game of today's action, go to our YouTube page, hit the live tab, and you'll see Egg Harbor Township and Cherry Hill West queued up for 1 p.m. That'll be all for us in Game 1. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you in about 45 minutes.